All right, let's get the obvious out of the way. I am not Danae Evans. I am not the CEO of CMLS. Danae's got some family commitments and wasn't able to make it. And I am guessing that Rob Wagner did not pick up the call when she called him first. And so that's why I'm here to share a little bit about CMLS, which I am excited to do for sure. I'm on the board of directors at CMLS, have been for 2 years. We've had a lot going on in the industry that's kept us very, very busy. Chris Haran, you'll see me later today as well. I'll do the grand finale before we all head off and have a little bit more bourbon tonight. But would like to share a little bit about what CMLS is up to with all of the RESO crowd here today. So first things first, obviously, very excited to be here. That's who I am. And we've heard a lot about AI. And I do think that Danae obviously put a lot of effort in the slides and the talking points that she sent to me. I also know she spent a lot of time playing around on AI and on ChatGPT. And it's obviously creating a lot of exciting opportunities. It's evolving very fast. It also gives people like Danae a lot of free time to do really horrible abominations. So if for some godforsaken reason you ever wondered what it would look like if Danae and I were to present together, we apparently look like an 80s new wave pop star. Like, that is a very pretty human being that the two of us put together there. So that is, now you know what effort that Danae put into the presentation to share with all of you, and I'm so very excited that I got to show all that to you, because I could not have that in that brain by myself. So let's get a little bit serious, though, and talk a little bit about who CMLS is. Obviously, it's the trade association for MLSs. It was created back in 1957, started off as a Northwest Council of MLSs. Today, we have 237 MLS members that represent over 1.7 million subscribers in North America, plus 70 business partners. And we say North America because actually our current chair is John D. Michel, who is from Toronto, so we do both the United States and Canada going back and forth there. We do champion our members and the MLS industry. We are trying to find the right relevant audiences to talk about MLS, to define MLS, to advocate for MLS. We also create best practices that help improve the operations of MLS, because our mission really is about making sure that MLS is the best and that we're doing the best for all of our combined members, associations, subscribers, whatever you may call them. And we are, hopefully, and always the voice of the MLS. I want to talk a little about Open House 2025. I've known a couple of people had mentioned on stage because we did a good partnership with the International MLS Forum with RESO. So we had people attend both CMLS and that forum as well. That was a huge conference for us. We had over 1,142 attendees between virtual and in person. It was a great time. We had a lot of good content there. Feedback was overwhelmingly positive, and we're really looking forward to Open House 2026, which is in Fort Lauderdale, Florida this year. So coming back to the States. I would say getting a little bit warmer, but for those of you in Toronto, it was actually unseasonably warm that week. But Fort Lauderdale, obviously, will have the beaches there. September 29th through October 1st. Hopefully you've got that on your calendars. And we always like to give everyone a little bit of an early advantage. So if you scan that QR code, we've got early bird pricing going on right now, $400 off. And make sure you log in if you're a CMLS member to get that member benefit there too. And we're going to Fort Lauderdale because our past chair, Deanna Hall, is also the CEO of Beaches MLS, and she's definitely promising not just plenty of sunshine, but at a little bit of a dig towards John and Toronto, she's promising working elevators and working air conditioning. Yes, I now know how many of you went to CMLS, so that was a great indicator for me. So yes, we're also very excited that the elevators work here, the escalators work here, and we're not taking stairs constantly. So that's CMLS 2026, so hopefully you can all join us there. We also have CMLX courses. That's one of the most foundational programs we offer, is educating and helping everyone level up in their MLS journey. We have CMLX V, which is for our volunteer leaders. We actually have quite a few organizations that make this part of their onboarding when they're bringing on new board members, and it's a great way to get them up to speed to understand the lingo and what's going on with the MLS, and help them really cut down that learning curve as they're coming in new, especially to the board. We have CMLX 1 for new staff, very similar to CMLX V, but on the staff side. So if you bring someone in and they're trying to understand, what are all these acronyms? What's an MLS? How do we do this? How do we do that? Like, CMLX 1 is a great course to get them started there. CMLX 2, that's for your people who are wanting to scale up their careers. They're getting more into management. They're wanting to take more ownership, more pride in what the MLS is and help drive that forward. And then CMLX 3, that's our advanced leadership program. As a graduate of that in 2023, hashtag best class ever. I'm not wearing my shoes. I really should be. But if you're, no thumbs down, 2023 is the best. But CMLX 3 is a great program to build strong networks with other people in the industry who are also looking to get better and better about being champions of the MLS. So highly recommend 1, 2, 3, do those courses. They're really, really helpful on the staff side of things to understand what's going on in our industry. And I definitely would highly recommend anyone if you're looking to that. And for those of you who are interested, another QR code, there's going to be a couple of these, so keep your cameras out. You can pretend that you're scanning QR codes when you're really just looking online for whatever's going on there. But we'd love for you to register your staff, your volunteer leaders, get them involved. It's a great way to get everyone on the same page about what MLS is all about. And CMLS staff has let me know, if you keep your eye on your inbox, we do have discount codes actually coming for some of these CMLX courses. So if you've been on the fence, keep an eye out for that email. That might tip you over. We also do a lot of best practices. This is also something I'm really passionate about because I am co-chair of this group with Melissa King, who I was going to give a shout out to, but then she told me she wasn't going to be in the room, so just boo Melissa now, everybody. Boo, boo, yep, skipping out of my sessions. Anyways, Melissa and I do work together on best practices with a lot of people in this room actually to say what's the better way that you can put together your help desk? What's the best way you can put together your training programs? How can you do your data management and licensing? And we share all these ideas together because that's one of the things CMLS does well is bring MLSs together to share those ideas and then put that out for everyone to use. So definitely best practices is a great thing for us. We want to keep these going on a regular basis. So we just redid them all last year from 2018. And we plan to look at those every single year now and bring new content, not just to the existing guides, but also to new guides. So if you don't know what the best practice guides are, this is the QR code to get to those. For those of you who are looking for ways to improve different operational pieces of your MLS, this is a good place to start and learn a lot. And we do want to add more to this. Like one of the things that's been talked about a lot over the last several months is having an AI best practice. And what does that really go towards? Is that towards policy? Is that towards technology? So we're starting to dig into that a little bit. So if that's something that interests you, love to talk to you about that afterwards and get you as a volunteer for that potential work group in the future. All right, so that's best practices. We also then have Making the Market Work, which is a program that's been around for several years. And the MLS is obviously a big part of the infrastructure of this industry. We're really behind the scenes, but without us, and without people realizing what it does, you misunderstand what the MLS does to make this industry really, really work. And we're trying to tell that story about the value of MLS through different initiatives, and Making the Market Work is a campaign that showcases how MLSs are involved in that. And we've got that campaign tailored to different audiences. So if you're an industry professional, there's Making the Market Work. So that speaks directly to what the MLS does to make real estate industries, real estate transactions happen, to make it more efficient, to make it better for everyone from list agents, buy agents, consumers, brokerages. How do we help make that market work? So that's the industry side of things. The consumer side of things, that's our never-ending initiative to take back MLS from soccer. So how do we make consumers understand what MLS is without having to say we're kicking a ball around a field? Because we're not, obviously. We're drinking bourbon constantly in our coffee in the morning. So I'm sure that's why so many of you are so very peppy and cheery this morning. And then we have Champions of MLS. That's a relatively new program in the last couple of years, and that's for speaking to regulators and policymakers, because we do need to talk to them about why the MLS is so important to the fabric of real estate so they don't interfere with what really makes this market work here locally and domestically, especially as we spend so much time talking globally to other countries that are trying to copy what happens here in North America. So that's the different campaign assets for Making the Market Work and In the Know and all the different marketing pieces we're doing there. The other thing we wanted to share was MLS Matters webinars. This is actually probably one of my favorite bits of CMLS. The conference is great. Best practices are super helpful. The CMX classes were awesome. But what's nice about these webinars is we all get together, usually a couple hundred of us, and we have a topic, and we talk back and forth about that topic. There's not really like these set presentations, like someone will maybe like lay out some ideas, but then there's a lot of back and forth, a lot of conversation, a lot of good Q&A, and a lot of sharing. It's amazing with this community how much we share information back and forth about what works and what doesn't, so we can not make our own mistakes brand new or even do a little bit better on the next iteration. So it's one of the things I'm most proud of being part of CMLS, and I think that we get a lot of value out of it whenever we do those things. So definitely hope we can see you on a future MLS Matters webinar, because that is us helping to shape that future of MLS together. And then another big project, which hopefully everyone in this room has heard about, but if not, definitely want to share some more on that today, is the MLS framework. And the MLS framework is our model rules that we've worked on. When I say we, it has been an industry effort with many MLSs, with brokerage participation. And the idea was, how can we come up with a set of rules framework that would help complement what's already out there? How can we help make the rules more modern, make them more adaptable, make them more flexible, and really help people understand what they can do in their marketplace to create new rules, to create new policy. And it is very much like a choose your own adventure style. If you haven't had a chance to look at those, they are released publicly now. And the idea is not that you just implement the whole thing. The idea is that you take a look at it, you compare it with your current rules, and you say, what can we use to help modernize what we have? What can we use to make things a little bit better for our current subscribers, for our current members? Those rules, they really are built for the MLS, not just of today, but hopefully the MLS of tomorrow, because we're going through a lot of change, some very, very rapid evolution, and these have been codified from best practices across the industry. They're optional and they're adaptable to local markets. That was a huge thing with the framework, is making sure that it wasn't something that had to fit everyone everywhere. It made sense to how can you make it work in an individual local market space. As I mentioned, lots of collaboration from MLS and industry leaders. This was not done in a vacuum by a law firm that worked with CMLS. We did get a ton of input. We've asked for input several times, and we're going to continue to iterate on these. The plan is not that, hey, we built these and now they're just done. As we learn from people who are implementing them, putting them into place, we want to go back and say, okay, this was a great idea. Let's make that part of the rules and tell everyone else about it. So it's a little bit of like almost an open source idea, in that if people can come up with ways to improve it, we want to share that back with everyone who's using it. And they are really designed to promote standardization, because obviously we're big fans of RESO, work with them a lot, so we want to make sure we're standardizing some rule language where we can to make it easy for people to understand, especially if they cross markets. We want to modernize it, and obviously we want to reduce some liability. And that reduced liability is by making you choose the rules that work best for you versus having the one set that works all across the country. So we do want you to review and share your feedback. And I did just want to add that the reason why CMLS is doing this now, why we've gotten into it, is because we do need to be more flexible and nimble in working as MLSs. We do have to understand what's changing, especially from a data perspective. There's going to be a lot of conversation about data licensing, our agreements, and how they need to change, especially to work with things like AI and the different use cases that are going to pop up. And it's important that rules around not just data, but rules around how we interact with all the different brokerage models that we work with, that there's some flexibility there for each local market to be able to do what's best for their environment. And with that being said, thank you very much. I hope I did a good job for Danae. Obviously, I don't have as great of hair as she does. Hopefully, she never does another combined picture of us again, because that'll live in my nightmares forever. But if you have any questions about CMLS or any ideas that you'd like to share, please find me at the conference here. I'd love to talk about that. But CMLS really is about all of us working together in this room and everyone outside this room to make MLS better for all the people we work for the agents, for the brokerages, for the consumers, for our associations that we partner with. So definitely very interested in those conversations, and thank you very much.